And we're back. 2 months later, I have arrived in Reading, PA, where this trip began in the first week of January 2 months ago. Now, before I explain to everyone where I have been and my 3 main takeaways from the trip, I would first like to address some concerns with this look that I have heard oh so much about. Now, for starters, I am not Forrest Gump when he wouldn't stop running. I am not a leprechaun. And finally, and I think most importantly, I am not homeless. I will get the beard trimmed up soon. However, I felt to shoot this video, I had to keep the same look that I have been rocking for the past 2 months. Now, with that being said, and with those concerns being addressed, drum roll please. Okay, so first week in January, this trip started here in Reading. And from Reading, we went to Hartford, Connecticut. And then we went to Wilkes-Barre, PA. And then we went to Morgantown, West Virginia. And then we went to Chicago, Illinois. Then we went to Columbia, Missouri. And then we went to Denver, Colorado. Then we went to Las Vegas. Then we went to San Francisco, LA, San Diego, Phoenix, Austin, Texas, Tupelo, Mississippi, Delray, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Delray once more, into Savannah, up into Charlotte, finished the trip off in DC, and then we made it home on Sunday, back to Reading. What a trip it was. Now, for the rest of this video, I'm going to discuss my 3 main takeaways from traveling the United States for the first 2 months of 2018. Takeaway number 1, perspective. Now, when I say perspective, I mean understanding the viewpoint of another and understanding how that person came to have that viewpoint in the first place. Traveling from the East Coast, through the Midwest, down through the West Coast, through the southern states, to arrive back on the East Coast, I met people from all walks of life. And each person was able to give me perspective. They allowed me to look at the world through a different lens than my own. Doing that gives you a deeper appreciation for your own upbringing, but it also gives you an appreciation for the upbringing of everyone in this country. It's interesting that all 50 states are connected, yet each state has its own distinct vibe, its own distinct feeling. Things that that state holds so dear that to other states may not mean a whole lot. It was very, very interesting gaining perspective from people 20 years older than me or sitting at the same age as I. I got perspective from waiters, waitresses, the clients we stayed with. Anyone and everyone that crossed paths with Graham and myself during our 2 months gave me perspective. They allowed me to have a deeper appreciation for this country and for all the people who live in it. Takeaway number 2, gratitude. For 2 months, I was living in a constant state of gratitude. I was grateful for the people I was meeting. I was grateful for the places I was visiting, and I was grateful for the opportunities I was experiencing. When you live in a constant state of gratitude, you are so present. You are only living in the now, in that very moment. I will never be able to recreate the moment driving in Kansas, looking around and seeing nothing but windmills, chasing the sunset. A moment I will be eternally grateful for until I'm no longer on this earth, Not a moment I can ever replace or recreate. But a moment that I was so now that you don't think about anything other than you're just grateful to be there. There isn't a thought of your fear or your doubt or your insecurity. You were just there, living in the moment. And it is something that I challenge anyone watching this to find and to live in that moment themselves. Be grateful. It changes everything. Takeaway number 3, action. In the second takeaway, I talked about gratitude. How grateful I was for the people I was meeting, for the places I was visiting, and the opportunities I was experiencing. However, none of those would have been possible without action. I think the statement that Graham and I heard the most during our 2 months, whether it be from a waiter or waitress, a random person we met at a gas station, or someone we happened to cross paths with during our 2 months, was, I wish I could do what you're doing. I wish I could travel the country for 2 months. Our answer was the same each time, because you can. Graham and I talked about traveling back in August. I said to Graham, wouldn't that be cool to do it? And then we did it. We made a plan to get in the car and visit our clients for 2 months. We took the action. We took the steps necessary to do it. And it really is as simple as just getting in the car and driving. A lot of the people, the waiters and waitresses, the random people we met, happen to be no older than myself or Graham. Not held down by the responsibility of a family. You can just get in the car and start driving. Don't make the excuse that you can't. You can. I can promise you, the regret you will feel not traveling outweighs any of the consequences that will come from you just getting in the car and driving. So act. Don't regret. In conclusion, my 3 takeaways from traveling the US the past 2 months are as follows. Perspective, gratitude, and action. I specifically chose these 3 as my takeaways because they can be used in your daily life. Perspective, to look at the world through a different lens than your own, and to understand why that man or woman may look at the world the way they do. Gratitude, to be grateful for the people in your life, your family, your friends, loved ones. To be grateful for the opportunities you have on a daily basis. And most importantly, to be grateful for this thing we call life. And finally, action. To act. To travel if you want to travel. To quit that job if you want to quit that job. To act and not regret. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have an amazing Friday. Keep your eyes peeled for a really, really cool contest. The Pillars of Growth will be dropping in the next few days. And we'll be talking to everyone really soon.